All right, so here we are, about to get busy painting. It's the next day. It took freaking forever to get all this mess taped up on both sides. You know, you gotta spend time cleaning it. You gotta inspect it, clean it again, make sure it's dry. Use the air tool to make sure you get all the air out of the little tight little crevices. And then make sure you tape it off nice and neat. Make sure your edges are good, make sure nothing's touching, and make sure you go all the way around. So next step right now is to get the plastic on here, and then I'm gonna get painting. Remember, get yourself a good respirator, it's worth the investment. Okay, so let's fast forward a bit. I retaped because I'm gonna put another layer on the front, and I'm gonna go really extra thick on the front because the front is where it takes the most wear and tear, it takes the most rocks and everything. So probably saw the other video, but I'm gonna redo it and go over another layer. And I draped the whole car in plastic. I want my door handles exposed and I want my trim showing. You see, that's the only part that's not covered up. The trim going all the way around, trim, and the door handles, and everything else is plasticed off. Plastic going around the whole car, both sides. Remember, the only thing you need exposed is your trim you're gonna be painting. Trim, handles. And let me show you the kind of paint I'm using. This right here, you can get that at Home Depot, Lowe's, if they got it in stock. This one I'm gonna use for the handles, the front, the side. This is the paint you use. If you can't get something like that, you can also use something like this, a high performance enamel. On the wheels, you're gonna use this stuff right here. All right, it's time to get painting. Let's get started.
Don't pay thousands when you could do it yourself. With the right tools and equipment, patience and know-how, you can make a lot of stuff happen. Okay, so you saw the other side in a time lapse. This time I'm gonna do this side and you can see it live, all right? Make sure you shake these 2 minutes. And after you're done spraying, wipe out the edge. All right, so you just wanna take your time. Not too close and not too far. You saw I press it and I let go, press and let go, press and let go. Just copy exactly like I'm doing. Don't stay in one spot for too long though, all right? Because you don't want to get drips and runs. You gotta let it set. All right, make sure you start doing these next, all right? Okay, like I said before, not too heavy so it doesn't drip. Get some blackness on there, move on to another part. I'm about to go to the other side. And for the second coat, just go over it lightly, the same way you did before. And I guarantee you it's gonna be beautiful. And remember, when you're spraying, every few moments, wipe off the tip. You don't want it spitting out bubbles. And that's it. Both sides, let it rest. Yo, this mask is dope. God damn. You don't realize how strong it smells till you take it off. This thing works and it keeps it cool because it lets the hot air out.
All right, so I got another update for y'all. It's the next day. I did both sides, multiple coats on both sides. Some of you might be worried about like overspray or something like that, but when you're just doing like a little aerosol can, it doesn't have that much pressure and it doesn't spray out so much paint that it gets out everywhere. By the time it even gets over somewhere else, it just dries up in the air and then it settles as like a little dust on whatever it lands on. You see that? See, it lands over here. But even if I didn't put this here, because the spray comes and while it's floating in the air, it dries, falls down as like a dust. So you'll get like soot on the ground from it. That's all it leaves. It doesn't leave black marks on everything. You're not gonna have black paint on your windshield or something that you didn't put plastic on. So those cabinets over there are just fine. Nothing happened to them. See, like most of it is black and it looks really damn good. The only thing I gotta do now is get like into little tiny parts. Like there's some spots that you can barely see. You can't see it too good on the camera, but above here, very micro thin spots. Like I'm being super anal about it. Like somebody else, they would see this and think like it's perfect, it's great. You know, but me, I haven't experienced that. I've been doing this kind of stuff for years. So, and I've been trained to pay attention to detail when I was in the military. Like little details to me matter, you know, but someone else it doesn't. But if you want a good opinion, then take these notes. Some people may look at this and just see a black handle, but I look and I can find that little spot. Black, 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 black. See a little bit of chrome right there? See that? There you go. Only areas where chrome didn't get 100% covered is like areas where the paint is not able to come straight on it. Areas where like the tape or the plastic may have been slightly an obstacle, so it blocked the corner a little bit. That tiny, you can barely see it, it's barely anything. Like I'm here on the other side and this handle's just fine, like on both sides. So that's what I'm saying, you gotta make sure you double check everything. This one is not as bad, you can barely see the underspray. Like it's like a tiny little bit. And then like a little tiny bit here on the back side of this handle. But other than that, you want to inspect your edges. See like that right there, a little thin. And it's so much easier to see this with natural light versus artificial lights. Artificial lights like these, they're not very, they just don't do the job very well. But I'm about to paint this one. Again, slight thin coat, but I'm gonna spare you the details. I'm just gonna show you when it's done a few hours from now. This is literally the longest I've had plastic sitting in the car like this. With the amount of work that you have to do to put all the plastic on both sides, damn near the whole damn car is plasticed off. So the last thing you want to do is take all the plastic off of here and pull it out of the garage prematurely. So after the first day of painting, I waited to the second day to get natural light in here, get the natural light on there and give it a good inspection. It needed a second thin coat in certain areas. Some of the tight spots were like behind here, behind the door handle, and like maybe like little tiny little corner pieces, like maybe where the tape is protruding out a little bit. It may block some of the paint from really adhering on there real good. But other than that, everything else on here was like perfect. The plastic worked out great. Like let me show you. So you look at the plastic, like when it comes to like over the top part, like these little black parts, it's like dust. It's like a paint dust. It's like the dust, the paint is like dried up. I've said that before in other videos. When you're using like rattle can type applications, which is best for doing it in your garage because it doesn't spray a whole bunch, it doesn't spray at a high level and it doesn't get everywhere. If any of the overspray happens where it actually sticks, it's just gonna stick right next to where you were spraying. So like right here is the only place it really sticks. Anything else, it just sits on it and by the time it even touches it, it dries. Like all this stuff here. This is dry, it's just dust. It's like a paint dust. It's like dust, that's all it is. But yeah, I'm about to take all this plastic off. Remember, when you're taking off a part, remember, when you're pulling it, pull the opposite direction. Don't pull straight out, pull the opposite direction where it's pulled. You want it to peel back on itself. You want it to roll back on itself. So pull it this way, opposite. There's no rush. There's actually tape behind there, so I gotta pull it this way. See what I'm doing? Grab it, and make sure you pull it away. Pull away from what you're doing. You see? It doesn't brush up against my art that I just finished. It's going away from the art. So just like I always say, take your time. Don't be in a big rush to get this done. The hard part's already done and now it's kind of like unwrapping a Christmas present, but you know it's something delicate inside, so you gotta unwrap it kind of slow. It comes off way quicker than getting everything applied. Taping takes forever to get it on there, but it comes off like that, quick. Less than 5 minutes, I'm already done with this side pretty much. Some people may look at this and think, oh, why don't you just get wrap? Why didn't you just get the vinyl wrap material? Because I have a car out there that I wrapped, and I know what the material looks like after years later. Some stuff is just better painted, because with that vinyl material, it tears. And I live in Arizona and it gets really hot here. So the vinyl just takes like a beating, and its lifetime gets cut down like so much. I'd much rather repair a small little speck versus having to take off a whole strip and then redo a whole thing again. Or just not even have to repair it at all because of something stupid like a tear. Imagine if it being black and it just staying black. That's why if you prep your surface correctly, make sure your paint adheres correctly, it's gonna be good. Look at this, look how clean it's already coming. Ooh, it ain't done yet though. Look at that line, look how clean that is. I don't see any chrome exposed, no chrome. Like you see like little bits of tape here, a little adhesive, I'm just gonna move that off, that's it. Totally different now, look at this. Look clean. I just gotta go through and get the rest of this little tape out. If you stayed tuned for this long, I appreciate you. You're a good viewer. I appreciate people like you. And you must really be interested, because look at this. It turned out excellent, right? I mean, it's clean. I'm about to pull it out of the garage soon and let it get in the sun, and you can really see what it looks like in the full daylight. Not looking clean. There you go. And that's that. There's another one. And the thing looked good, didn't it? Just like this little piece of hair I got sticking up on my head. But if you stayed this long, I appreciate you viewing. Give me a like, thumbs up, and catch you on the next one. And just remember, patience, patience, patience. Peace.